I do want to make sure that I touch on the mutation policies because I think this is going to be more of a default implementation for most as they start, implementing Kubernetes. Is how can I make sure these things are done regardless of what someone has put in the YAML, right? I need to just know that things running in this specific environment have these specific properties, right? Like, how do I do that? And this is one way that you're able to achieve that. So, I gave the run as user example before. So we could say, we want all workloads in this specific cluster group to run as this specific user. Whoops. Right. And if we set this to always, anytime a workload is submitted through this cluster group, this property is always appended to that workload. So you can do the same with all these other different properties. And then you can even scope it out to a specific namespace by selectors. So if you just want to create these at the org level, you can do that and just scope it to a namespace by labels if you'd like to. And then another common use case is a mutation label, right? So a very common use of this is appending, location or maybe data center, things like that. Row and rack information if you're running in a data center. So you essentially apply this to a cluster group, and any cluster that's added would, receive the appropriate values that you defined here. So I think that's a pretty helpful thing to be able to do, and something that if I was managing clusters, I would have a lot of mutating policies for, defining out just different environment variables and knowing where my clusters and things are running.